Okay, in this video, I wanted to show the process I'm using to study herbalism. What you're looking at on screen is a mock example of how I document my learning and self-experiments. This isn't advice, it's just a system I use to stay clear and responsible with everything I do, I take, or try out. Why a process matters? I realized early on that if I didn't have a process, I'd be just guessing. It's really easy to confuse yourself with herbs, changing too many things at once, like chasing the effects or assuming something worked when it didn't. So I built a very simple structure that helps me observe instead of react to what I am taking or studying. Everything starts with the date, the time. It matters more than most people think because you can never know when effects will take place along the path of doing herbs or drinking teas or taking supplements. So it's very important. But one of the most important things is a baseline. People overlook it a lot. All I do is write down how my body feels, the mood that I'm in as they are without taking anything at first. And sometimes I'll even wait like maybe a day or two to see how I am feeling without anything, just to get a good baseline before I start any experiment. Then I'll write out an intention, but I keep it very limited. Like, it's not a goal to like fix or to calm. It's just observing, for example, whether something affects tension or calm. So I'll put down took it after because of this to see if it affects it. After that comes the intervention. This is where I note what changed, and only I change one thing at a time. Like, I don't stack experiments, and I will do like multiple herbs together, but they'll both do the same process and be in separate papers. So I do want to take note of that. So if I'm taking like, I don't know, magnesium at night and ashwagandha in the morning, or like I would say melatonin with magnesium, I would do separate things of them together, even though they're not specifically herbs, they're more of just supplements. But I'll do those together, and if I'm drinking a tea with that, I do that separate. Like, all of them would have their own separate to themselves page. And after that, it's usually just immediate body notes that I document, like where I pay attention to how I feel physically. Warmth, heaviness, is my agitation rising? Is it settling down? How long is it taking me to go from, like, let's say, completely angry to not? And I do try my best to take note of it, although sometimes emotions run away from us and we don't really catch on to what's happening. I try my best to keep note of if I'm calm, if I'm panicked, if I'm very angry, if I'm feeling a little down, just to see if that correlates with anything that I take. And I usually add, like, over the next 1 to 3 days, I add like short notes about patterns, stuff that repeats, things like, I don't know, certain feelings of warmth or certain feelings of calm. Is there any stomach agitation while taking this? Is there any uh, positive bowel movements? Anything like that. Just to know how it's affecting my body, my mind, all that together. Like, sometimes something happens, sometimes nothing happens. Both are valid data to take into consideration. At the end, I usually make a decision that might be to hold, adjust, or stop. And importantly, don't do anything with the dosage or timing yet. So, reflections. Reflection isn't optional. It's optional. Like, it's basically you did it. You're looking over what happened. So sometimes I will add a reflection at the end, just enough to remind myself what I noticed during, because sometimes you have certain ideas that pop up in your head after doing stuff, after experimenting a little, like that feeling was this, but I didn't catch on to that till now. So reflections are good, but they're not really a big thing. Sometimes there will be a reflection at the end, sometimes there won't. I'll probably have reflections in videos, but there is no saying that there will be reflections in my notes. And most of the time, after all this, I usually try my best to ground myself without it, to make sure that I keep myself from chasing a result or making something of something that isn't. More detail on that, it'd probably be more like making sure that I'm learning patterns instead of just making up stories of what I'm doing. So, like, if I'm calm, I don't want to be like, this is the best thing ever, I'm gonna keep taking this because it's really helping me out with this. I want to learn other patterns of other things as well. And I do want to be clear again, this is my personal learning process. I'm not telling anyone else to do this, and I'm not giving any medical advice at all. I'm just documenting how I study. It's an important part before I upload any videos, any experiments, any remedies I try, any plants I learn about, any roots, all this stuff, tinctures, extracts, all this, supplements. So that's just a reminder. If you're interested in herbalism and like slow, careful learning, this is the approach I'm taking. In future videos, I'll show and share more of how my process works, especially while I'm creating the video. I don't fully have a plan for how videos will be made. I do not think I will be doing this picture background stuff often, other than to explain things, but who knows, maybe it's the best possible option for explaining specific herbs, and experiments are better done in person. So if you like the idea of everything I'm saying and my process, like, subscribe, comment. Although I'm not a professional herbalist, if you comment a question, I would love to gain the knowledge to be able to answer any questions in the future and even now. So any questions you can definitely send my way. This has been Lou with My Herbal Journey, and that's that.